Well, what I wanted to do today is to do a review of the coordinate plane and just the horizontal x-axis and the vertical y-axis, and just plot those points on a coordinate system. And then I wanted to review just the quadrants, like quadrant 1, 2, 3, and 4, and how to find shapes on the coordinate system. So I'm going to start out with just quadrant 1, where x is positive and y is positive. So I'm going to share with you a review of the coordinate system that's pretty easy to see. And I think this is the easiest one to start with. And so this would be quadrant 1, where if you remember, x is positive and y is positive. So x is this horizontal line here. So I'm going to put x right here just to kind of help review that. Let's pick a fine tip. That's good. All right, so I'm going to write x here. And then the vertical line is y. This is y over here. So this is quadrant 1, everything within here. So do you see where it says A is positive 2, positive 6? So the first number is x. This is x. And then the second number is y. So this means I go to the right 2 and I go up 6. So I'd count over here 1, 2. And I count up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I would label this point A. Okay?
Yeah.
And then your second point is 3, 1. So that means I go, the first number I go sideways, 1, 2, 3, and then I go up 1. Label this B. And then my third one is 5, 4. So I go sideways first, 5, and I go up 4. Now I'd label this point C. And then I have one that has a 0 in it. And when you see 0, you don't go up or down. You just stay on the x-axis. So I count over 7. So here's 7 over here. But I don't go up and I don't go down because it says 0. So I actually put a point right on the x-axis. And that point is D. And then one more E, I go over 9 and I go up 3. And I would label this E. Like that. So all of these are in, this whole thing is quadrant 1. And when anything is in quadrant 1, x is positive, y is also, x is positive, y positive, positive in this. All right? All right, now this next one, you're going to have some samples in this one where you have quadrant 2 and 3 and 4. So this is, again, this is quadrant 1. This is quadrant 2. This is quadrant 3 down here. And this would be quadrant 4. So in quadrant 1, everything is positive, positive. In quadrant 2, you're going to the left of 0. The left of 0 on a number line is negative, so your first number has to be negative. But think of like a thermometer. Everything above sea level would be positive, so this would be y is positive. In quadrant 3, I'm going to the left, so that's negative, and I'm going below 0 on a thermometer. This would be negative, negative for 3. I want you to think everything in this area here would be negative. And then quadrant 4, I'm going to the right of 0, so that's positive, but I'm still going down. So this, everything over here is going to be positive, negative. Okay, let's look at some of these. And I'm just going to label these right next to the letters. I think that's easiest. So for K, I'm going to go over 6, and I'm going to go up 1. So this is both positive. So I'm going to say positive 6, comma, 1 for K. And then for D over here, I'd go over 2 and I'd go up 3. So D would be 2, comma 3. And for N, I'm going to the right 5. That's positive. I'm going up 5. So N would be 5, 5. Just like that. And for G, I'm going to go to the right 7 and up 8. So I'd say 7 first, because that's X, and then 8 for G. And P is one that doesn't go up or down. It's right on the X axis. That means Y has to be 0. So I would label this 8, comma 0. Okay, let's look at quadrant over here. Everything over here has to be negative. So I go to the right 3 steps, that's -3, and I go down 2 steps, -2. So I write the -3 first, -3, comma, -2 for E. And if I go down to H, on my number line, I'm going to the left, 7, that's -7. Then I go down 8 steps. So I would label H -7, -8. And here's another example where you have a number that's right on the x-axis. Again, this means y is 0. So I would say it's -5, comma 0 for F. And Q is going to be 0 because it's on the y-axis, on the x-axis also. So I'd say -8, comma 0 for Q. L is going to be -6, comma 1. That's +1. A is going to be -2, +3. And R, I'm going to the left 1, I'm up 1. So I say -1 first and +1 for R. And then C, I'm going to go over 4 to the left, so that's negative. And then I'm going to go up 4, so that's positive. For so C is going to be -4, +4. And then O is kind of like that. It's the same number, but one's negative, -5. But then I go up 5, so that's positive. So it's going to be -5, +5 for O. And then for J, I'm going to go all the way over to -7 and up 8. So I say -7 first, because that's the x-axis, and then 8 for the y-axis. Okay, and this is all quadrant 2. So everything in quadrant 2, the first number has to be negative. The second number has to be positive. Let's look at the last quadrant, quadrant 4. So over here, I'm going to the right. So that's +3, but then I go down 2. So B would be +3. And I might go to the right 1 and down 6. So this would be +1, -. And then for I, go to the right 7 steps and then go down 8. So this is going to be +7, -8. And the last thing I'd like to do is just a functional. And this is just something that I think is easy to take a look at. And when you find a letter that matches the coordinate, you actually write the letter over this. And so in this example, I think the riddle on is, what does the riddle say? I'm going to have to see. What did one ear say to the other? So let's look at our coordinates here. So I have 6, comma 3. So if I go over 6 and I go up 3, it looks like an I there. So I'm going to write I. Then I go over 1 and up 5, and that looks like N. So I'm going to write an N here. This one says -4, +6. So I go to the left 4, and I go up 6, and I see I've got E up here. So I'm going to write an E right here. And then -6, +3, I go to the left 6, and I go up 3, and I have a V. And then I have 4, 0. That means I go to the right 4, And I don't go up or down. I'm just right at 0, and that's the letter E there. So I'm going to put an E. And my next coordinate is -5, 0, so I go to the right 5, the left 5, and I don't go up or down, and that's R. My next coordinate is -7, -8, so I know that that has to be quadrant 3 here because it's all negative. So I go over 7, and I go all the way down to 8, and I see that's K. So I'm going to put a K right there. And you can see that it's starting out by saying in, ever, and then something else. This says -1, -5, so it goes to the left 1, go down 5, and I think it's N. I'm going to put an N here. And then it says +7, -2. So if I go over 7 and I go down 2, I'm in quadrant 4. That's everything down here. And that's point E. So I'm going to put an E right here. +2, -4. So I go over 2 and down 4. That looks like a W. And then I've got 0, +2. So that's right here, but I go up 2. So I'm at a W. Another W. Hi, Sophia. Good to have you. And then I have 0, -3. So I'm right here, and I go down 3, and that's an E. I think it says in, ever, new, something. I don't know. We'll see what it says. Then we have 0, 0. And that's called the origin. If it's dead center right here, 0, 0, that's coordinate, that's B. So I'm going to put a B right here. This one says 8, 7, so I go to the right 8, and I go up 7. It looks like an O up there. So I'm going to put an O. This is -6, -6, so I go to the left 6, and I go down 6. And -3, +2, I go to the left 3, and I go up 2, and I see an H. And that looks like it says, it spells the word both. And this one says 5, -5. So I go to the right 5, and I go down 5, and that looks like an L. -8, -2. So I go to the left 8, and I go down 2. I think that's an I. I'm going to put an I here. And 0, 7. So I don't go left to right. I stay right here. I go down 7. It looks like a V. -5, -4. So I go to the left 5, and I go down 4, and that's an E. It looks like both live something. -1, 0. Looks like a D. And 3, 8. So I go this way 3, and I go down 8. That looks like an O. And -2, -3. So I go over here -2, and I go down -3, and I get an N. So it looks like it says in ever new we both lived on. Let's look at the riddle again. What did one ear say to the other? Maybe it says in every ear we both lived on. Something weird about this. Let's see, -7, -8. We went over 7, and we went down 8. That's definitely K. So this looks like it spells new. Oh, I. Let's say if this is I right here, and it says, I never knew. That's a word, new. We both lived on. Oh, and then there's another line. That's why it doesn't make sense. There's a third line. All right, let's do the third line. So it says negative 8, 8. So I go this way 8, and I have to go up 8. Let's see what's under here. Looks like probably 2, a T up there. Let's put it 0, 8. So I'm here at 0. I go up 8. That looks like an H.
No, we both.
Probably says the 8 and 0. So I go to 8, and that's 0. Is that an E? I think it's an E. That looks like the word the. In 1, negative 1, I go over 1, I go down 1. That looks like an S. Negative 3, negative 8. So I go over here, and then I go down. Looks like an A. Negative 7 and 1. I go over 7. I go up 1 as an M. And then 2, 1. I go over 2, up 1. Looks like an E. 1, negative 6. I go over 1. I go down 6. I think that's B. 4 and 6. I go over 4, and I go up 6. What is that up there? Is that an L? I think that's an L. Negative 1 and 7. I go over 1, up 7. I can't tell what that is. I'm going to scroll up a little bit. That looks like an O. Maybe an O. 8 and 8. Go down 6. That looks like a C. And 3 and 8. Let's see, what's 8 up there? 3 and 8. That looks like a K. Okay, all right. Let's see what it says. So I never knew we both lived on the same block.
The same blocks.
It's like a blockhead. The ear said to the other ear, we live on the same block, like you're a blockhead. I get it. That's funny. All right, so the goal of this was to do so many points on a coordinate system, but it gets easier the more time you plot points. The thing to remember on your test, they're going to ask you about quadrants. So everything in this square right here, this positive, positive, that's called quadrant 1. Remember, that's positive for X, positive for Y. Like they'll give you a triangle in this or a square, and they'll say, which quadrant is the square located in? Now, if it's over here, this is called quadrant 2. Everything over here is negative for X, positive for Y. And then everything down here is quadrant 3. And anything down here has to be negative, negative. And then remember, everything over here is quadrant 4. If you go to the right, X is positive, and if you go down, Y is negative. Okay? Any questions about the coordinate system that you guys have? You're okay?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to let you guys go now, and I would encourage you to do IXL, or I would encourage you to do TABE Academy. How are you guys doing? Are you guys staying healthy? Everyone in your family's okay?
Yes, it's okay.
No.
I'm good.
Okay. All right.
Just both stay home.
I know. I know. All right. Well, great to see all of you, and have a good evening, okay?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye. Take care, teacher.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye, Sophia.